Alright, here we are about 15 minutes later. I've got this thing off. This thing's off, and I've been able to expose the banjo fitting that I'm going to connect to there. And taking all the studs off, all the bolts off, I should say. One of them was a stud, and one of them was a stud and had this little ground piece on, so I just put that back on there. Be careful not to lose that little nut. Mine actually dropped right down there, and thank gosh it's just sat there, and I was able to use a magnetic screwdriver and pull that thing out. Over on this side, I got the hose off, and for the fuel line, that was no problem. I ended up taking off the flexos here, which I got right here. I ended up taking this thing off just so I had a little more room in there. And what you want to do is make sure you back this thing up, because this other nut that I pulled off that's now loose was on there real tight, and I started pulling on it, and I was like, well, I don't want to. I learned something doing plumbing a long time ago. You always want to back it up and make sure, you know, you don't want this thing to come off back in, oh, way down in there, wherever that thing goes. So I made sure that I had a wrench on this nut while I was trying to loosen that one, and got that off. I also took off the cover that goes across here so I can get a little better access to this bolt here. And as my friend on the Passat forum was saying, I may want to reuse this thing to, you know, drill this out and reuse it on the other one. And now I can see what that thing does, is it actually keeps this this hose from sitting down on the valve cover, where it might get mighty hot and hey, cause the same problem all over again. So next step is to undo this banjo fitting. Oh, by the way, when I took this one off, only like a few drops of fuel came out. Don't worry about that. And like one drop of steering fluid came out of there, and that's all I need. Earlier I should have said the other part I got this part. I also got these two. These are supposed to be compression washers. I got these from my local VW parts place for 90 cents each. They're really thin, and they don't look like they compress at all. They're not like the same thing I use on my Suzuki motorcycle and my my Yamaha scooter that actually compress. But they are one-time use. He said I definitely wanted to get new ones, so that was no problem. And then I also went and picked up a quart of the old fluid. That was 19 bucks. Washers were 90 cents each, and then the hose here was 72. All right, let's take the old one out and then replace it.